What is up, everyone? We are on day 7. That's right, day 7 of the 30 days of Death Shadow. Wow, I'm so excited. We are almost a week through this challenge. The time is flying by, which is it's been pretty amazing so far. Wonderful. Yesterday we had Grixis Shadow, so today we're going in with Jund Shadow. Last week's Jund Shadow, we had a pretty cool build. We had Luris, the Dream Den in the main, Street Wraiths in the main, Bloodbraid Elves in the main. It was a pretty cool list. And so I think we're going to try to expand into a different area. This list that we're playing today resembles a little bit more of the Jund list that you probably saw around the Companion era, before the Companion rules were changed and errated. So I'm pretty excited for this one, to be honest with you guys. I really think this one is pretty cool. And, you know, if we find success, we don't, I'm still excited just to see, you know, how some of these cards play out. So what I'm really excited to try out is both Renin 6 and Hex Drinker. Now, both of these cards you're not going to see very often in Shadow shelves, and honestly for probably good reason, because a lot of Shadow builds, you know what, they're trying to get to the board, kill you fast, you know, disrupt, kill you fast. And both of these cards don't really jive with that game plan. So there's a good chance that this league might be a little bit of a flop because of these cards kind of clashing with that. But what I did want to try today is I wanted to try take a more grindy approach to this metagame. You know, the metagame is fairly grindy. You know, it's got some pretty cool mid-range decks, some control decks floating around, you know. There's still the Storm and the Amulet, the super aggro tribal decks, but I'm still happy to give these a shot against those kinds of decks. Renin 6, of course, is really, really good when you're playing 3 Nurturing Peatlands in the main. Gives you a card draw engine. And additionally, Hex Drinker, when you're playing with Luris of the Dream Den, can be pretty scary for certain decks, you know. A deck's playing against you, they kill your Hex Drinker before you're able to level it up. Okay, great, Luris, buy it back. Now they're out of removal spells. You level up the Hex Drinker, and you got a mini Progenitus, so that kind of thing. But again, that game plan's not typically what you see with Shadow, but I am really excited to try out some things, you know, just be testing really, just to see how things work out. Otherwise, we've got a pretty straightforward Shadow list. We're playing our 4 Shadows and our 4 Scourges to go along with our 4 Lightning Bolts. We got 3 Fatal Push, and we got a big suite of Hand Disruption. Of course, we got Temur Battle Rage at the top end to help punch through the damage. We got good old reliable Tarmogoyf, an Abrupt Decay, and 2 Dismember. Pretty straightforward deck list. We are a pretty grindy aggro deck. I guess that's a little bit of an oxymoron, but, you know, we're an aggro deck that has some grindy elements to it. And then we look at our sideboard, of course, we got our Veil of Summer's really tough to leave home without Veil of Summer, and that's one of the appeals of playing green in your Shadow deck. 3 Nile Spellbombs to help us fight against those graveyard decks and some other fair strategies. Damping Sphere is a nice hedge against both Tron and against Storm. Assassin's Trophy, another nice flexible card, again, for Tron, but then also bring it in against some creature decks if you need the extra removal spells. Plague Engineer, because we're seeing a ton of tribal decks around. But notably, if we bring in this Plague Engineer, then Luris is no longer a companion, as well as that is also true with Ashiok, so we're always going to keep that in mind. You know, maybe if we are bringing in these cards, we bring in Luris with it, so Luris is in our main. And then, of course, we also have some Kolaghan's Commands as a nice both grindy card, a shatter effect, and a way to help fight against certain decks' hands. Like, you know, if we need extra ways to pressure Amulet Titan's hand or something like that, or, you know, Titan Shift, stuff like that. Very excited about this list. I'm pretty hyped with what we're going to be able to do with it. I can't forget the thing about the Luris and the Ashiok and the Plague Engineer. That's something I would forget. But with that all being said, let's jump into a league and see what we can do with this deck. Ooh, not the Modern Challenge, but a league instead. Cool. Alrighty. Alright, looks like Pygonti. It's a close race now. Idutra was at the top for quite a while, if I recall correctly. And Giovanni and Pygonti got to the top. We played Pygonti a few leagues ago, and I'm already forgetting what they played. I remember them playing pretty well. Gosh, now it's escaping me. I wonder if it... I just always assume people at leaderboard are playing Amulet Titan, but that's not always the case. I don't remember 100%. Oh, no, they were playing Green White Heliod. That's right. That's right, because they had the play where we could have been Jund Shadow and they main phase their collected company. That's right. All right, cool. We got our first match queued up, and let's dive right in. We're playing against Balthazar, and reveal Luris as our companion. And let's see, what does this hand do? This hand presents threats. And so if our opponent is on a combo deck or Heliod or something like that, that's not the best. So if this Battle Rage was like a Thoughtseize, I think we'd be pretty happy to play this hand. Even if there was a Bauble, because then, you know, Luris Bauble would be appealing. So if we're a deck that would be good where we just present our threats are going to be decks like control decks, you know, decks that are going to be on the back foot, in which Team of Battle Rage isn't the best in there. So I think we're going to mulligan this one. Okay. This hand's okay. Hopefully we don't have to fire off this Bolt upstairs to turn on the Scourge. So why don't we keep ourselves... A double Scourge could get something going. We're going to keep this and see what we can do with it. Flooded Strand pass. Okay, fair enough. All right, Tarmogoyf. That might be a way for us to potentially be getting in some damage. Hopefully they just go for like a Stoneforge Mystic on turn 2. That would have a target for our Fatal Push. Let's see what they fetch. Watery Grave off of Flooded Strand. So maybe we're like up against Grixis Control. Island. Okay, so we're thinking Bitter Blossom. Wow, okay. I see how it is, opponent. After I bottom my Abrupt Decay, I see how it is. One interesting thing is our Scourges are actually interesting against Bitter Blossom. Yeah, with that being said, let's grab a Blood Crypt and an Overgrown Tomb. And let's go ahead and lead on a... Let's lead on... Scourge of the Skyclaves has a lot higher ceiling. If we hit a land next turn, we could like push the token, attack, play another Scourge. Now we have 2/2/2s. Yeah, I think Scourge has a higher ceiling to play first. Guessing it's catching a removal spell here. Yep. Okay. Right, they have another land for us. So now we got to be really cognizant. Okay, another land was great because I was about to say we need to be really cognizant of Spell Stutter Sprite. So what I'm going to do in that case is I'm going to play another Scourge. And if they... Okay, never mind. I was going to say, if they Spell Stutter Sprite, we could have killed one of the fairies, and then it would not counter the Scourge of the Skyclaves. Alright, opponent's going to opt on the end step here. They topped it. Okay, fair enough. Oh, they're Esper. Very cool. Very, very cool. All right, we got a big old Scourge. See, are they holding up Cryptic Command? Death Shadow's kind of neat. All right, so we just like have a bunch of big dumb threats, which, you know, that's kind of what this deck does. Okay, they're going to line up a block here. Let's go ahead and test the waters with the Death Shadow and see what they do. Okay, Death Shadow resolves. I think I want to keep up my removal spells here. Snap. Okay, so we're going to snap push. Okay. Sure. See who they decide to fatal push. Okay, they pay. Okay, that's... I think that's okay, actually. If we start hitting a bunch of land drops, if we are able to survive, Tefers is pretty annoying. So why don't I respond by fatal pushing a Snapcaster Mage? Try to prevent us from taking too much damage here. Next turn, if we hit a land, we can go Bolt to Fairy, play, you know, Scourge, Death Shadow. Okay. That's interesting. Gosh, this is funny. This deck is just like mono threats. Okay, let's test the waters here with a bolt. Okay, so hold on. Let me slow down really quick. Do I need a Bolt to Fairy? I guess I don't, do I? So let's lead on what they know about, which is this Death Shadow. And then let's play out a Scourge of the Skyclaves. And let's pass. Another fatal push. Okay. Well, gosh, it's funny because if it wasn't for the Bitter Blossom, we would be kind of pretty happy with them just having a hand of just all, pushes, snaps, stuff like that. But this Bitter Blossom is probably going to kill us, most likely. And they're just holding up mana. They didn't make a land drop. Obviously, this would be lethal. So... let's see how they react to me casting a Hex Drinker. Okay. No reaction at all. Let's just go to combat. I don't think we can afford to go for it here. And at some point, we might be forced to. And let's go ahead and play out a Tarmogoyf. If we hit a second red source, just going to counter this. Yes, Cryptic. Counter bounce. Counter bounce. Okay, cool. So obviously we didn't want to go for it there with the Battle Rage. Okay, so we are at 5. Yeah, this is brutal. They're just not hitting lands, so we just can't really punch through damage here. So I think the best we can do is play out a Scourge. They have another counter spell. Wow, yeah, so they just had the perfect hand against us. Their hand lined up super well. We're going to try to go for the Bolt on the Teferi. And now I believe we do not have outs. I believe we are dead. It's really unfortunate. Yeah, they just didn't. They just hit. They went to 4 lands, stopped drawing lands, and they just drew all gas from there. Interesting attack. Yeah, I guess it doesn't make a difference, right? Because I'm just dead next turn anyway. There's a land. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to pack it in. That's about it. All right, that was an unfortunate game. I mean, we're playing a Death Shadow deck, and they're playing, counter spells and Bitter Blossom, stuff like that. So we're going to go ahead and bring Blurrus into the main, because we want to bring Plague Engineer into the main against them. Veil of Summer, obviously, is going to be very good against them. And now, God, we're kind of wanting our whole sideboard, though, aren't we? So what do we have to take out? Let's start there first. Red and 6 would have been a really killer draw there, because we would have been able to manage some of those tokens. I don't think I like Dismember too much. Fatal Push, maybe. We don't need too many of those. Temur Battle Rage seems like a big liability. Although, you can try to punch through tokens. I think, don't know if we want to be quite there. We could trim on a Thoughtseize potentially. And yeah, let's give this a shot. Cool. Oh, I wanted Nile Spellbombs, though, for the snap. Oh, that's all right. That's all right. Okay. Another awkward hand where we just have, like, a bunch of threats. Now, to be fair, that's kind of how the deck is constructed. So let's... I don't want to mulligan against them. We're going to try keeping... And I guess we'll try to land a Tarmogoyf, and then potentially we'll be at a low enough life total to start deploying these Death Shadows. Alright, Hallowed Fountain tapped, sure. Hex Drinker, sure. Okay, we're going to go ahead and play out a big Tarmogoyf. Not big yet. Not big yet. He's small right now, but he's going to get big. Alright, cool. So let's go to combat, see what happens. And then I think I'm just going to land triple threat here. If they're playing a sweeper, If they're playing a sweeper, then that will be pretty rough, but it feels better to play around what we saw in game 1, namely just a whole lot of removal spells. Alright. Going super wide on him. Lingering Souls? Oh, just a fairy? See, that's where we get really rewarded for having played out so many threats to the board. He's going to bounce the Tarmogoyf. Fair enough. Inquisition's a fabulous draw. Get to go like this. Double Purge. They do have a sweeper. That's so rude, opponent. They have 3 sweepers and a Chase the Mind Sculptor and double Celestial Purge. Let me just take a screenshot of this really quick. Oh my god, the non-stop just ridiculousness of MTGO. My opponent is such a hater. Why do they hate me so much? Why do they hate me so much? Oh, man. So, obviously I can only take a Purge. And then I guess, what can I do here? I can hit them for 4, 7, 10, and put them to 9. They're going to sweep the board. I can K-command 1 back. God, they have 3 sweepers. They have 3 sweepers. Oh my god. Okay, so we're just going to level up Hexdrinker. And then we got to kill this Teferi, because we're not hitting them again anytime soon. Wow. Well, you know, one positive thing about their hand is that potentially we can just try to lean in on the fact that we have a ton of threats in this deck. That's really bad here. So we're going to go ahead and play out our Tarmogoyf. Yeah, play out the Tarmogoyf. If they go Jace, bounce it, we can K-command, kill the Jace, get back a dude. Opponent is so hateful. Okay, so they have 5 cards in hand. Oh, right. Ah, I see. Wow. Their hand is literally Celestial Purge, Teferi, Wrath of God, Kaya's Guile, Supreme Verdict, Celestial Purge, Jace the Mind Sculptor. Whatever, man. We're just gonna keep slamming threats. Oh my god. Lord Almighty, save me from MTGO, man. Save me from this cursed program. Okay, cool. So again, if they go to bounce this, we can attempt to kill it with the K command, and then buy back a Hexdrinker and play out a Hexdrinker. Veil of Summer is interesting. Would have been cool to have that last turn, but I guess can't ask for much in this game. So we're going to get back Hexdrinker because they have a Purge to deal with this. Man, they were Fairies game 1, and they were just Esper, Go to Hell, Death Shadow game 2. So that is something. Okay, Hall of Fountains, so we know about 3 of the cards. Okay, thank God we have this Abrupt Decay. Whew. And we know what their hand is, so that's nice. Okay, cool. So we're going to go ahead and Abrupt Decay this Bitter Blossom here. We're going to level up the Hexy... Yeah, we're going to level up the Hexy once. And then, cool, we get to play this fun game. The fun game being, I hold up Veil of Summer and just keep hit them with my 1 threat. Hopefully they don't draw too much, and then we force them to spew a Supreme Verdict on a Hexdrinker. Okay. If they have if they try to go Cryptic, like bounce the Hexdrinker, we have the Veil of Summer here. I should have done that with this one to hold up Bolt. Cool, so we have the Veil of Summer. That feels good. Cool. Alright, we have a leveled up Hex Drinker. Let's go ahead and level them up once more. Get in there with the Hexy. And cool, so this is now, after this, a 2-turn clock. Again, we're just hoping to fade some proactive draw steps. That's the scariest for us. You know, if they just keep drawing these removal spells, we just keep having more threats. So, alright, they drew a land. Nice when a land doesn't mean you're just gonna die next turn, you know. So they're gonna probably have to fire off the Verdict here. Sorry, I should explain myself. Mystic Sanctuary is not in the format anymore. It's just I got to get my jabs in, you know. Okay, Supreme Verdict. Sure. Cool. We know their hand is Purge Verdict, so I'm just going to go play a Hex Drinker and level it up again. Another land's kind of sweet, actually. Opponent's probably going like, oh my god, how many threats can one deck play? Alright. So now this plays around, doesn't play around Kaya's Guile. That card's really good against this. But this does play around any sorcery speed removal. Alright, wow. Did we get through all of those sweepers and planeswalkers? Wow. Alright, sweet. So now we get to play a 7/8 Tarmogoyf. He's so thick because the Bitter Blossom's a tribal. Okay, I should have fetched on end step there because we just have them dead here, actually. What an anticlimactic way to win. But, you know, obviously we take these. Oh man, what a hilarious game. Whew. Okay. Wow. Did not expect to win that one. That was really funny. Cool. So against I don't want to ever lose the Death Shadow deck. What do we like here? Honestly, thank God we're playing Jund and not Grixis, because I don't think Grixis could beat that. Not with the 2 uncounterable Supreme Verdicts there. Alright, Inquisition seems... Now I regret cutting the Thoughtseize because we saw Chase the Mind Sculptor and all the 4-mana sweepers. Gosh, I mean, we're going to try to pull that off again, where we just bash threats into their face until they give. The Miserly Fatal Push, let's get that Fatal Push out of here. I think we want to Spell Bomb. Do we want to Spell Bomb? What would be better? A trophy to deal with the Bitter Blossom, because we were so lucky to have that one of Abrupt Decay, because then they could have just chump blocked for days. We would have been in trouble. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Let's give this a shot. Luris seems really good. Maybe Plague Man is just not going to cut it. Again, we just need an answer to that bird. Like, turn 2 Bitter Blossoms is how we lose, I think. So let's give this a shot. Not to say they don't have a million answers. Okay, this is a hand. I like this hand quite a bit. We got our card draw engine. We could... This might be an ultimate, you know, a Ren and 6 kind of situation here. And we have turn 1 hand disruption, which is what we were lacking those past 2 games. Cool. I think Blood Crypt Shock is totally fine here. Fatal Push, Snap, Purge, Teffers. Okay. Snap's pretty good, especially since I balked and didn't bring in those spell bombs. So Purge on our Ren and 6 is pretty sad. Let's take the Purge so I can at least land Ren and 6, get some value out of him, or we try to just bait out the Scourge with a Snap. This is a good hand. They got the push, the Purge, and the Snap for these 2 threats we have and any ones that we're drawing. So I think we're going to try to gamble on taking Purge and see if we can't draw another hand disruption spell to get that Snap before they're able to Snap Purge or Ren. Because like we'll have a couple turns before that goes down. Not to mention any scary top decks they might have, such as like a Bitter Blossom here would be really scary. Cool, so we're just going to go ahead and fetch Shock. opponent is doing well to play around the Scourge of the Skyclaves that we have in our hand by not taking damage themselves. We can help them out with a Ren and 6, certainly. Next turn, if they just play Tef and tick up, so we can try to double threat. They have answers for that. Obviously, they can't tick down because they just die. It just dies to Ren. Okay, so Thoughtseize. No Thoughtseize. Let's just double threat. It's about the best that we can do here. Pass the turn. Obviously, this is just us trying to begin our churning through their deck, churning through their removal spells. Spots like these that I wonder if it was actually worth it to bring in the Plague Man and not be able to load Lurrus into hand. But let's see if we can't get some nice Ren and 6 loops with the Peat Land. Okay, I don't know why I don't think they need to main phase that. Interesting. Oh, so they can just snap push. Fair. Okay, Bobble's interesting. Bobble means that we can bobble ourselves and see if we like what we're drawing into. A Thoughtseize. I do want to draw into a Thoughtseize here. Because then that way we're forcing their hand a little bit more. This forces the snap push, and then I can Ren down tick on the snap. Yeah, now we really wanted to have Lurrus in our... Okay, we're going to take the Bitter Blossom. We can fight through everything else. So important to take their proactive things, because as backbreaking as Teferi, Push, Purge, multiple sweepers in the main is, what's more painful to us is if they start putting us on the back foot. We're going to not... I don't think we're going to perform very well if we're going to be put on the back foot like that. Okay, more lands. All right, they drew that for turn. We obviously don't care about that. We have Ren. They drew again off the Tefers. Fair. Cool. So, trying mono lands. Gust. That's fine. We're just going to put it back on top. And just go Peat Land, draw into it, cast it. Oh, they're just going to make us shuffle? Sure. Fair enough then. Fair enough. Fair enough. So let's just go ahead and play out another Scourge. And then let's Peat Land pass. And let's hope to not draw any more lands. Let's hope that's a thing in our future. So they have the push. Yeah, they're just going to take care of that now. Oh. All right, let's see if they cash in Tefers for a draw. Looks like they're going to if they're going to fetch now. I think that's pretty good for us if they cash in this Teferi. All right, they won't. Never mind. Excuse me. They just want the F6 value. Fair enough. All right, let's draw into double threat. K-Command's pretty good. Oh, K-Command, but we don't have 2 red sources, but still. Sweet. That's exciting, actually. Do we only have 1 more red source in the deck? It looks like that's the case. Let's risk it on a Hex Drinker, huh? Because we're giving them 1 draw step, and then we can just really level up this guy, and then we can bolt the Tef. So let's gamble on the top of their deck here. Because I like just being able to just play threat right away. Okay. Okay. Fair. I mean, fair enough. I feel like they kind of forced into this. Bounce Hex. Fair. I'm not too upset about this. Okay, wow. We have drawn an exceptional number of lands. Yeah. Well, we got to go for it, right? I mean, this is intense. You got to go for it. Well, they're paused. It looks like they probably have it here. At the very least, if they have an answer, we can bolt the Tef and move on from that chapter. Man, that's brutal. Teferi into Snap. It's pretty good opponent. Wow, and then we just drew just literal mono lands. Okay, so we have to make the difficult decision here. We have to bolt this Snapcaster. Oh, not to let this resolve from the stack because Teferi is a reasonable magic card. If we top deck, I played my land for turn, right? Okay, if we top deck a Lurrus, then we're in good shape here. We can Lurrus Bauble, we can Lurrus Scourge. See, Lurrus. Veil of Summer is not what we're looking for against the Teferi Time Raveler. Alright, we're gonna pass. It's really unfortunate. Feels really bad to have fought through so much hate and then just to brick off when you've really, really needed the draws. Okay, they hit it. They bricked. They hit a land. Inquisition's an interesting one. At least we get to see what's going on. Okay, Purge, sure. Do I have... Okay, so what lands have I been through so far? So Blood Crypt, Stomping Ground, 2 Overgrown Tombs. Blood Crypt, Stomping Ground, 2 Overgrown Tombs. So we're through all of our fetchable lands. So yeah, so these are actual dead cards. They don't grab anything for us. So I guess I spoke too soon about that Field of Ruin. I was like, Field of Ruin don't matter. Actually ended up mattering quite a bit. That's not it. That's not it. Dang, getting so punished for taking Lurrus into the main. I don't know. I just feel like Bitter Blossom's so good that... But maybe Plague Man's just not worth it. And now they're just loading up cards. We're loading up cards. Bobble's an interesting one. So these can help us to scry. So let's just go ahead and pass. Obviously, if they flash in some big threat here, I don't know, cycle a big Tark Typhoon. Even a Snapcaster is pretty scary here. I guess they do have just a lot of reactive cards in their deck. They're just going up and up and up with Teffers. Okay, so let's go ahead and bobble ourselves. What are we drawing into? A Thoughtseize. As much as I love Thoughtseize, that's not what we need here. Let's see what we draw into. There he is. Well, it's not pretty. It's not pretty, but we gotta go for him. You're naming Fairy. Took me a second. Right? Bitter. Uh-oh, did I just fucking... excuse my language. Did I just punt this away? Bitter Blossom makes fairies, right? A fairy rogue. Okay, yeah. Okay. Fair enough, opponent. Fair enough. Kai's Guile, fully entwined. You don't love to see it, but, you know. Alright, and so now Lurrus is not the draw we need. Oh. I would love a Abrupt Decay on this Teferi. Jeez Louise. And we gotta Gotta go for it, right? All right. So we've been through almost half of our deck now. 32 cards remain in the deck. There it is. There it is. There's the Bitter Blossom. What is this? Teferi, we will pack it in. Alright, that's disappointing. Disappointing. Well, we had a hard-fought game 2 that we were able to get there with, but not that game 3. Yeah, this hand looks fantastic. We get to go Inquisition into Ren or Tarmogoyf, depending on the texture of our opponent's hand. We have a removal spell, and we have a card value engine in the Peatland here. So pretty great hand, all in all. We're just going to go ahead and lead on that Blood Crypt. And Inquisition. Okay, fun stuff. Another control deck. Let's force and just land a Ren and 6 and just see if we can ride this Ren and 6 to victory. Normally, you don't like taking force and negation, so I could have certainly taken the Path to Exile. That would have been a very reasonable take because you're like, I just want to get him with the Tarmogoyf. But double Cryptic Command. Let's see if we can't establish a more potent value engine before they do. So far, they most likely just think us to be regular Boomer Jund. Alright. And now next turn, we get to have a really great 1-2 punch of Thoughtseize and Tarmogoyf. And then down the road, we're going to get our Nurturing Peatland loops going. We have 3 knowns and 3 unknowns. Let's see, are they holding up Mana Leak? Interesting, that's another good draw as well. So I'm just going to play a land, uptick, get a land. We are going to see what they're up to with the Thoughtseize here. Nothing, they were just bluffing something. That's kind of cool. I can respect that opponent. We're gonna grab this path. Funny enough, can we do this? Let's see. We've got to be a little bit mindful of our life total because of that colonnade there. If they don't draw anything, we go Hex Shrinker 1 counter. Then I have 4 mana my following turn. He goes up to level 5. That's kind of cool. We can get around Cryptic that way. So yeah, let's go for it. Let's see what Hex he can do here. So we can try to pressure them on 2 fronts here by having both Ren and 6 and Hex Shrinker here as, you know, must answer threats. Okay, Colonnade tapped. Alright, it's time to check them for a Path to Exile off the top. Scourge is an interesting draw as well. Alright, looks like they are telling us that we're good to go. Gonna play out the Peatland, uptick our Ren and 6. Go ahead and attack here. And he does not have protection from Planeswalkers, so I want to play around a Planeswalker by playing a Scourge of the Skyclaves here. So now we have 2 pretty good threats. They're going to Cryptic, tap our team, draw a card most likely here. But that's fine because we're going to go up. We're going to just keep going up and up and up with this Ren and 6. In fact, I might even keep these lands in hand for this potential Ren and 6 ultimate. If they want to tap our team, bounce Ren to hand, I think that's okay as well. Okay, Swamp's pretty bad draw, considering Yeah, so why don't we take this opportunity to start leveling up our Hexy a little bit. Let's level up once. Go to combat here. See if they get into it with the Cryptic. Don't think they can afford to take all this damage here. So they're thinking about what they want to do. Yeah, they have a lot of options here. I mean, they can tap team draw, tap teams bounce a Ren in 6. You know, that's why I only want to level up this once, just to see what they do. Because if they bounce Ren, I'm going to want to... Yep, that's what they do, which is fine with us, because that is card disadvantage for them. Just play out the Ren in 6 again. Tick it up on nothing. And then... Can I make this pro everything? He's a level 6. No, I think I'd rather draw a card off Peatland, so I'm just going to pass. Wow, they concede the game. Interesting. Interesting concession from them. So we would have drawn into Death Shadow and drawn Thoughtseize for turn. Yeah, those are pretty good draws there. Okay, so against blue-white control, I'm a little bit hesitant on Veil of Summer. We could try out some trophies potentially. They feel better than Dismembers. And these cards feel a little bit like a liability. Trophy being better because it can answer both Colonnade and Planeswalkers. Hopefully not answering a Snapcaster Maze. We're not in that kind of position. And Teamwork Battle Rage can definitely be a liability. So these are all arguably could be cut. Maybe something... Veil of Summer I'm not in love with. It does get around counterspells. It doesn't get around the white base removal. So just like a single Veil of Summer is probably fine. So let's give this a shot. Now spell bombs are nice to help control graveyards. You need those against Snapcaster Mages, stuff like that. Alright, let's see what we can get done here. This hand's fantastic. Take this hand every time. Oh, we don't have a red source. Never mind, this hand's not. I was just out of the corner of my eye. I thought that was a fetch land. Ooh. So... That's really, really unfortunate. That's not a fetch land. This hand's a snap keep otherwise. Thoughtseize into Ren is so good against them. Alright. Ooh, one lander. That's rough. We're going to keep and bottom this Decay and hope we get there. We can Inquisition, Thoughtseize. That can be really powerful against them. They mold as well, so that's good for us. Land. Okay, we're good. We good. We are Gucci. Okay, they kept Enforced Negation against us, which feels incorrect. So we're going to go ahead and take this Opt so that they have less card selection going into the next turn. And then we're planning on... Well, let's see what they do. If they do anything. We might just play Tarmogoyf here, because Goyf can go pretty fearlessly into these two cards. I was expecting to see a handful of removal spells there. Yeah, why don't we just play the goof? Let's get our threat out there. I think that's fine. And if they want to do something like we Inquisition them, they respond by drawing 2 with Archmage's Charm. We just have the other Thoughtseize to help play around that. So they do not have Archmage's Charm mana, notably. We are going to Inquisition and Thoughtseize before anything else because we want to potentially grow our Tarmogoyf if they have card types that will do so. Alright, looks like they have a removal spell. Snap, sure. That seems fine to me. Supreme Verdict, very nice. So we're going to take the Charm, and if we Thoughtseize and they want to... Yeah, there's no reason to do that. So we're going to take the Charm. We're going to move to combat. See if they want to block. They choose not to. So we're going to go ahead and... Oh, actually, are we going to go ahead and... So let's think about this for just a second here. They don't have the land to cast it yet, and if they do find the land to cast it, and they verdict us, then we can K-command, make them discard, get back the Tarmogoyf. It doesn't play well around them having something to force. Yeah, so why don't we just not mess around and just go ahead and do this. Like if they're to draw another blue card before we're able to K-command them or something. So we're going to take the Supreme Verdict. This just forces them to have to top deck better, right? Yeah, and they're opting as well, so it would make sense that they would get there, both potentially getting there on a land and getting there with protecting against a K-command post-sweeper. They topped it, okay. So I wonder if it means a Planeswalker potentially? Potentially Teferi Time Rattler? Okay, Vantress, sure. If they Ashiok, okay. Okay. That's interesting card to put into your deck. Doesn't even treat the Tarmogoyf. I guess we do have Luris, so that's a thing. Fair enough, opponent, fair enough. So, to be efficient with our mana, we're going to go ahead and just do this. Thoughtseize, does that grow the Goyf? It does not, so we can pretty safe, we can just save that. Why don't we kill this Ashiok, because we're not killing them anytime soon, and it will grow the Goyf. Alright, and we can just kind of pass the turn and chill and see what they top deck here. Okay, they top decked a land. Once again, praise WotC that a top deck land is not a scary thing anymore. I'm actually going to draw here. I know it takes us off K-command mana, but there's nothing we're really direly needing to K-command here. Now, I honestly actually want another threat, I think. Like that. That's a good one. That puts lethal on board. So, yeah, we're going to force them to top deck here. They have looks with the Vantress, so they definitely can get there. All right. Opponent, I believe you need a sweeper. I think that's what they need here. Yeah, they get quite a few looks at it with the Vantress. I guess a Planeswalker would also be good for them. Let's see. They're only drawing into one card. They're scrying quite a bit, but they're only drawing into a card, so they don't have enough to snap Verdict. I think it needs to be exactly just Verdict. Yeah, just think it needs to be Verdict. One top, one bottom. Okay. So one good thing is that we have this K command to buy back a threat. Maybe they have like, I guess they could have timely reinforcements. Timely reinforcements could be a thing. Teferi, okay. I think that's a lot less scary than a sweeper. Bounce the Scourge, makes sense. Okay, so we're just going to fetch tapped here. And we get to go Thoughtseize into... Let's grab our other red source because they're showing us Field of Ruin here. Cool, we can play the Bauble. Let's just go to combat first. We're attacking them for sure. I don't think we're at a point where we care about Teferi too much. And let's take a look, see at what they're drawing. A Stoneforge Mystic. Cool, so let's definitely save this K command. Oh boy, we're taking the Jace the Mind Sculptor. And then we're casting a Scourge of the Skyclaves. So, they are drawing a Stoneforge Mystic. I don't think that makes a difference. We have two lethal attackers. Yeah, I think that's going to be it. They play the sword out. We have the K command just to like really rub it in, but... Batter Skull. All right. Yeah. Cool. Yep. Okay. All right. We won a match. We broke the losing slide. I was nervous, guys. I was nervous. We had lost quite a few matches in a row there. All right, we broke the slide. Jamming with Jund Shadow. Already starting to notice some things about the list that I don't like. Well, maybe it was just because that game won that plague that match won that plague engineer. We really wanted that side. Oh man, I bet we would have won if our Luris was still in the companion zone. I think we would have. Yeah. So, and then we're really low on red sources in this deck, but I don't know if that's a problem necessarily. And again, we're seeing kind of the interesting effect. I don't even know if it's good or bad, but it's the interesting effect that Ren and 6 has on the deck, as it turning it a little bit more into grind as opposed to just straightforward blitz aggro. And we reveal Luris as our companion. And yeah, I mean, double Ren and 6, that's definitely showing we can't keep hands like this. We need a little bit more. This hand is, oh boy, I think we have to keep this hand. We have 2 draws for a fetch land. We definitely want these 4 cards. If we hit the land anyway, we don't really need this. This hand doesn't really need the Ren and 6. Let's give this a shot. Alrighty. Pop out those graveyards. And let's take a peek at what our opponent is up to. A lightning bolt's interesting. Okay. Oh, okay. So Jund. Guess we take a Inquisition of Kozilek. Interesting. Okay, we're in a bit of trouble here if we don't hit this land. But at the very least, they go Inquisition here. They take our Death Shadow, maybe. Oh, they probably take our Thoughtseize, actually. Yeah, they probably take Thoughtseize. Is this our only castable card? They played the Cliffs. Yep, take the Thoughtseize. Makes sense. Alright, big old fetch land here. Alright, I'll take it. If we don't have a card to cast, at least I'll do that. And we're going to take the Master Pulse. Alright, well, we got to fade some stuff from them. Because, yeah. Tarmogoyf, Ren and 6, Lily of the Veil, etc., etc., etc. All scary stuff. Alright, big land, big land. Hello, let's go. Let's go. Alright, opponent. I will ask very kindly for you not to cast a Liliana of the Veil. It would make me very sad. Make me cry on the inside. No Lily of the Veil, please. Alright. Opponent, I thought I said no Lilies. Oh, maybe it's Season Pyromancer. Looking like it. Alright, it's easy peasy. Let's see if we can grind through one. Man, we really wanted that Ren 6 though, didn't we? But having double threat here I think is fine as well. Let's see. So they could discard Forest. They'll have, well, let's see what they discard. Yep, so they discard the known cards. Fair enough. And they have 3 fresh new cards. Alright, let's go. Not bad. We're just going to jam a bunch of threats on them, and we don't have to worry much about Maelstrom Pulse. If Jund is playing more than 1 Maelstrom Pulse, yeah, I would be very, very surprised. And so instead what we need to play around is a glut of removal spells out of them, and Liliana the Veils. So we do so by jamming a bunch of threats on them. Yeah, let's get a green source because we might be sacking off this peat land. I guess this doesn't play around a bolt, but they did just discard one, so... yeah, like I said, I think I much just prefer to get superior board presence on the Jund deck. So a bunch of random draws from our opponent. Looks like maybe they have a party girl here. A little Blood Braid of the Elves. Thoughtseize. Wow, that was lucky for us. Man, Jund opponent, I cannot tell you how many times I've been there, dude. I have been there. Bloodbraid Elf into the Thoughtseize when your opponent's empty-handed feels so bad. Okay, cool. So let's kick things off by drawing. Thoughtseize. Ooh, we get a Thoughtseize of our own. There may not be anything in their hand, though. There might just be lands because they just tapped out for a Bloodbraid Elf. An Inquisition, sure. I mean, basically dead cards. Okay, cool. So what happens if we attack all? If we attack all, then we die to a top deck Lightning Bolt. Or a top decked Bloodbraid Elf. If we attack all, though, we are threatening lethal, correct? That forces a block. They block with the Seasoned Pyromancer. And we need to just start getting in damage because they're going to have Pyro tokens next turn, if nothing else. So if I attack with everything, that's 4, 8, 13, and I'm threatening lethal with the fetch land. So they can just put a Seasoned Pyromancer in front of the Death Shadow. They take 8 and they go to 7. And that makes Death Shadow lethal and then both the Goyfs lethal. I think we have to go for it here. Because like I said, or maybe I haven't said, but I have certainly mentioned in the past, you know, they've got much better top decks than we do. Ooh, I think that was the right block opponent. I like that block quite a bit. Just Pyromancer on the Death Shadow. Wow. Okay. So can I kill just one? No, I have to kill both. I don't like this block. I mean, yeah, sure, you take us off of a threat here, but then you lose both of yours. And I think I have the momentum going forward. I guess I could have fetch shocked to 5 and then put them to 3 and then top deck Bolt as lethal. Maybe that was the play there. I should have not just clicked through blocks. Yeah, that was actually it. That's okay, though. All right, they can just get back tokens. If they get back tokens, then I'm going to fetch tapped and load up Lurrus in the hand. Okay, so let's draw that Bolt and get very punished for our decision making. Where you at, Bolt? Where you at? Where you at? Gosh, that was good though. That's a good draw. Sweet. So we have 2 lethal attackers. They were not dead, buddy. Not only were you not dead, you could just go Pyromancer tokens, block, block. But in addition to that, you had a lot of outs on me here. You were certainly not dead from this spot. Feels like a little preemptive GG from our opponent. But wow, do we love bringing in Veil Summer against Jund. Spellbomb because Crooks is a really good way to get at us. Love K-Command. Potentially Trophy. That's a maybe here. What do I don't like against them? I really don't like Temur Battle Rage. Fatal Pushes are great. We can trim on some Inquisitions. We can trim like that. These are all of our cards are really good here. Hex Drinker is maybe a bit sketchy against a Red and 6, but once you get him leveled up, he can be a huge pain for Jund to deal with. So I think I'm keeping Hexy. Ren's great against a Jund deck. Do we go like full on? Do we go like full on 2015, 2016 and just cut all the hand disruption? I don't know if that's right. That feels a little bit wrong. But we do have some bombs to bring in. So maybe we can cut a spell bomb. We don't need all of them. We can cut a trophy. Trophy's a little bit suspicious. We can just keep 2 Thoughtseize. We need to cut one more card. Let's take a look at our curve. I think we can cut a Dismember, actually. We're bringing in lots of other answers. Sometimes Dismember doesn't answer much of theirs and doesn't answer it very well. Let's give this a shot. This is exciting. Little Junmir. All right, I cannot complain. Obviously, I wish that my record was better the past 2 days, but I can't complain when I just played against Esper Control, Blue-White Control Jund. I mean, what? I mean, I have nothing to complain about. So, this hand is a mulligan, most definitely. This hand is straight fire. And I'm going to take a risk and bottom this Bolts, because sometimes they just play a big Goyf that Bolt can't answer anyway. And this hand is just straight fire. Okay, threat, let's go. So, let's go ahead and do a little Fetch Shock Thoughtseize. If my opponent veils me, then well played, sir, well played. Let's get that Veil Summer. They really have Veil Summer in their Bloodbraid Elf deck. Wow. Jeez, opponent. Just living life on the edge. All right. I'm expecting that Bloodbraid into Veil later on in this game. Let's do it, opponent. I'm expecting it. All right, buddy. You got it, dude. You gotta have to take the card that you can't ever beat. Additionally, they're not playing a red and 6, so that's really good. On top of that, if they kept a bad hand because of Veil Summer, that's even better for us. Yeah, so they just gonna play Ravine tapped. We are definitely scared of a Lily, though. So we need a Thoughtseize, I believe. It's okay, it's okay. So we're gonna go ahead and just pass. That way we can fetch shock to 14 and then shock. So if they go Lily next turn, then we can try to double threat to get around that. On top of that, we have a Bobble now that goes really well with our Luris in the sideboard. Let's see what they have here. Okay. Plague Engineer. I think this is a big mistake. I think people love blinging in this card against a matchup like ours, but I don't think it's... Oh, they've named Snake. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Did we show them Hex Drinker last game? We must have, right? Swamp. So we do not want a Swamp. We're going to fetch shock. Oh, no, they saw it when they Inquisitioned us. I'm an idiot. Yeah, yeah. But still, I'm a little bit... little bit not 100% on that from our opponent, but that's okay. So certainly one really bad thing is that we open up ourselves up to Bolt if we play out both our threats here. But that being said, if they have second Plague Engineer, that'd be hilarious. And I would just screenshot it for the content. Yeah. I think I'd much prefer here just going double threat. And we're going to bobble them. Barrenmore, okay. Fair enough, fair enough. Hopefully they were looking for fourth land for Bloodbraid Elf, and they'll have to play this tapped. Okay, there we go. Art's back. Let's see what they have. Second Plague Engineer again would just be so delightful here. It would be hilarious. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, okay, I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's terrible. Obviously, it's really good against here. It's locking out our Hex Shrinker, but I think you run the risk of, like, right there, we were holding our breath for something big, right, on their turn 3. They drew a Liliana. Liliana's so good against us, right? Even like a Kroxa. Like, Kroxa's really terrifying what it threatens against us. I just think a lot of the times I am facing down a Plague Engineer just taking a sigh of relief. Obviously, it's a Death Touch blocker. I know it's not bad. And if you have worse cards in your main deck, you're like, really don't want against Shadow, I understand. But I would just say, I just see a lot of people doing this, where they bring in Plague Engineer against Death Shadow decks. Sometimes it's like, wow, if you actually had, if you had done something bigger with your turn 3, even like just a couple removal spells, Thought Seizes, I don't know. I'll stop my rant. I'm just kind of rambling right now, so. Funny enough, we boarded out. Okay, that's a little bit sad for us. Oh, what do they got here? Trophy, fair enough. I like how we drew into it actually worked. They trophied us on the draw step, and we actually drew one of our basics. It's really funny. So we're just going to load Luris into hand and hope to sweat a removal spell, a hand disruption spell, rather. We have a trophy to defend ourselves, potentially against a Liliana. Again, if they Thought Seize us here or Inquisition us, that's going to be pretty backbreaking in terms of this game. That will really tip things in their favor in a big way. But if we can land, even if we just go Luris Scourge, Luris Bobble, I mean, that's going to be so powerful against them. Obviously, I'm waiting off on this trophy because they have a Ravine. I don't want to ramp them into Ravine mana. We have to be a little bit cognizant of our life total. Wonder if they just have Party Girl? Looks like they do. Oh, Season Pyromancer. That's a good one. That's a good one. They cycled this Baron more. Okay. They drop a Tarmogoyf. Interesting. Oh, they're digging for a Thoughtseize. I dig this play. I think that's respectable from our opponent. Cool. Would you like to attack me, opponent? Fair enough. Alright, we're gonna just yeah, we'll hold off on this trophy here. Okay, great, another threat. And we're just gonna get a Scourge back. Cool. Scourge just being quite a ridiculous magic card. With every turn that passes, we just get more and more and more value out of it. Okay, they hit a land. They tap, they untap, they were going to fetch first. Maybe now they have that Bloodbraid Elf. Fatal Push, sure. Okay, they definitely needed that. Cool, Tarmogoyf, let's go. Alright, we're ready to party here. That's for sure. This is a fun board state. I mean, we have a ton of cards in our hand, and anytime we can trophy this Plague Engineer to get our Hex Shrinker down if we choose. So we're just going to play a Scourge, Peatland, and pass. And we can grow this Death Shadow if we need to. We can just chill. Just hanging out here. They've got to redraw Peatland, so do we. If we hit a Kolaghan's Command, we have yet to see a Kolaghan's Command. If we hit one of those, that would be fantastic. Renin 6, okay, fair enough. That's really good with this Peatland here. Baron Moore. I think we got to do it. They showed us Veil of Summers, so we want to do this now. I think it feels not great, but we have to do it. I mean, this card's just going to completely pull away with the game, I think. Yeah, it feels bad, but extra card draw every turn I don't think we can beat. And even the card that we're drawing, they drew here, I think is scary for us for sure. So we're going to draw. Bobble is fine. Oh, Stomping Ground. It's not a great draw. Gonna go tapped. Oh, I should have shocked it in to grow the shadow. Yeah, so now another Renin 6 just kills this. Whoops, that's probably not a good thing. And also a Plague Engineer kills it, yeah. It's just funny how we've hovered around 12 life for so long here. I guess the big advantage that we have at this point is that they just are not, they're just totally unwilling to attack into us. It's just a nice part about Death Shadow. Thoughtseize, that's fine. Just have a Hex Shrinker we couldn't cast anyway. Alright, well, props to them, actually. I mean, Plague Engineer on Snake here has been very good. Because if we could have just Hex Shrinker just leveled it up a bunch, I bet we would have won by now. What are they drawing into? A Catacombs? Oof. Opponent is not drawing well either. Okay. Okay, now we've got a Cave Troll. We have a Renin 6. Alright, that's probably going to be it here. Do I just attack with both my Scourges? If they block with the Plague, man, we just don't care that much because we just have another one to play. They could just gang block to kill a couple. Yeah, I don't think we need to. We can wait till we find a removal spell for that Plague Engineer. Oh, and we know they're drawing into Catacombs, so let's just draw a card here because we're not going to get punished for that. And if we had drawn a removal spell, I should have done a pre-combat. Yeah, I should have thought about that. Just slow down and thought about it just a little bit more there. Because the reason you don't draw on your own turn is because you could draw like a 2-drop or 3-drop there that they could Thoughtseize, but we know that they were not drawing into it, so. Alright, well, thank God for this Wrenn and 6, just getting us through this massive clump of lands here. Oh, let me use Forest instead. We gotta hit something fun. Oh, we gotta hit something eventually. Oh, yeah. Okay, so. Alright, we'll just pass again. Thanks, MTGO. You're the best. You're the best, MTGO. So there's that Catacombs we knew about. Oh, they top deck the Pyromancer. Oh, God, they top deck Pyromancers. We top deck 3 lands in a row. My God. Ugh. Alright, what do you got? Lily the Veil? Lily's fine. Party Girl. Wow. Into Inquisition. Okay, Inquisition me. Just tasted opponent. 3 lands in a row. Let's go. Alright. Oh, man. Good times. Great oldies. Alright, let's draw some gas, please. Alright, Tarmogoyf, fine. Here. Hold on. So. Okay. We'll kill the Plague Engineer. And then let's start just slamming in with some big boys. How does that sound? Sounds good to me. If I attack with these two, they can just like put Elemental Tarmogoyf. We kill off a Tarmogoyf. They can block Pyro. I think we just need to start churning through what they have here. So I don't want to attack. Do I want to attack with another Scourge? Actually, you know what? We have this Wrenn and 6. We want to defend Wrenn and 6. Yeah, so I actually didn't need to blow that Fatal Push there. But that's okay. Because I'm glad that we slowed down and reevaluated. I think if we just ultimate this Wrenn, then the game's just over, right? Because then we just get Fatal Push. I mean, it's just, the game's just probably over there. Lily, that's fine. We'll just sack off the Dust Shadow if they make us yeah. Bye-bye, Dust Shadow. Okay, second Lily, fine. We'll sack off a Tarmogoyf. Bye-bye, Tarmogoyf. Alright, and then if they try to kill the Wrenn in 6, we just got block, and they can't attack, so we can just Wrenn ping the Lily, if we so choose. But drawing a second card per turn sounds a little more appealing. Scourge B, 8/8. Okay, that's a dead draw. Another Tarmogoyf, sure. So now we are forcing them to just go all in on this Wrenn. I mean, yeah. Let's see what they draw. They need... what's that card called? 2 mana sorcery, kill everything. It's like a Maelstrom Pulse effect. Alright, they just concede to us. Sure. Alrighty. Whew. Alright, back on the scoreboard. 2-1. Alright, now we just need to win one more to feed the children. It would be great. It would be great. What was that? What's that card called? Legion's End. If they Legion's ended us, I would just type in chat like, that was dope. Good job, man. And then we would still have a game 3 to play. Yeah, gosh. I mean, some of those games just really say a lot about fire design, right? I mean, just Wrenn and 6 is so dumb. I mean, it's my favorite card, but I mean, I have to admit. Oh, here's a leaderboard. Mr. Leaderboard, palling around with me, the lowly 2-1 player here. Fine with this hand. We're on the play, so we just get to go threat with a bobble, and it's fine. Oh, we're playing against another Lurrus of the Dream Den deck, so I wonder if they're on Rakdos or Hammer Time, potentially. Both of those would be pretty good. Let's see what our opponent's up to here. Okay, they mulligan, so we're just going to go Bauble. And let's go Peatland Hexdrinker. Pass turn. On their upkeep, we're going to Bauble them. Oh, so Rakdos Shadow. Interesting. I wonder... They're definitely favored in the sense that they have more just proactive threats. They're going to have more aggressive hands, just like, you know, here's a bunch of stuff when I'm going to kill you kind of thing. But we do have Veil of Summer in the sideboards, and we have more grindy elements. I would guess in the long run they're going to get the better of us with that. But we will see. All right, they take our Tarmogoyf, sure. That's totally fair. All right, Bauble, Bolt. So let's just level up Hexy and get in there. If we get this Hexdrinker up to 4, another level here, they don't really have an answer to it. So that's nice. Bomat Courier, sure. So I'm guessing they're just leaving up Bolt or Push here. Coming to deliver us a package that we don't really want. But thank you, Bomat Courier. Cool, so... Fatal Push, Lightning Bolt. Cool, I mean those are all really good cards. So we're going to see what happens. Bolt, Push. Yep, cool. We'll pass turn. This is most likely getting a Blood Crypt. Does they have a hand disruption spell? Knight's Whisper, very cool. So with Knight's Whisper, I'm going to Fetch Shock Bolt this, because now they can Fetch Shock for a Death Shadow, and it grows outside of Bolt range. But we can Bolt this. Oh, turn off audios, turn off audios. Ah, turn off audios. Because I want to go push their Death Shadow, then load Lurrus into my hand. Another Hexdrinker. I'm going to do that. And we're just going to keep asking them questions. Hey, can you answer this? If not, this plus this might get you. Swifty, sure. They needed like a Scourge of the Skyclave. They could still have it. If they have Scourge of the Skyclaves, we're probably in a lot of trouble here, actually. In fact, we're probably dead. Okay. So you telling me there's a chance? That's a good draw. So, Thoughtseize them. Take a Lurrus. If they Thoughtseize us, they die. Because we just bolt them. Cool. Let's go. That was sweet. Interesting game. Wow, so I wonder if we are... Wow, and we get to bring in Veil Summers too. And then we just need answers to Scourges because that card will kill us very fast. And I want to bring in this. Yeah, I might just try to treat this a little bit like the Jund Mirror, right? I mean, the one that we just played. Dismember feels really sketchy against them, so I don't want that card at all. I do want some number of Thoughts Inquisitions though, right? Because like Thought Seizing away the Lurrus from out of hand when they put it in their hand is so good. No, we can just cut Thoughtseizes, right? They're not playing any 4-drops or above. They're a Lurrus deck, and I don't think they have non-creatures that go that big. So we're definitely cutting that. I like Ren quite a bit. If the game ends up being grindy, like if we have like removal spell, removal spell, removal spell, then I go Ren and then start a loop with Peatland, it's pretty dang good. I want bolts for their excuse me, small creatures. Could trim a spell bomb. Okay, we don't need all 3. Let's trim a Ren and 6. Because there are going to be times that we're going to need to draw, like, removal spell, and we draw a Ren and 6 and go, you know, kind of thing. This is a risky hand, but it's a really good one. I'm going to keep this risky but good hand. It's got a lot going for it. It's got 3 very potent threats. They mulled to 5. Okay, well, they can still definitely win on 5 if we don't hit this other land, but we also have triple removal spell. Hex Drinker. Yeah, I think this hand has a lot going for it. Okay. Propagated is really good if we hit the second land. And this is probably fetching a Blood Crypt if we need to, because we need to be able to cast both bolts and pushes. Potentially Death Shadow as well. Okay. All right. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we're going to discard the hand size. We're going to ditch this Death Shadow. Definitely, I mean, you know, this hand had a huge fail rate, but on the draw, I was feeling confident. Okay, sure, that makes a lot of sense. Just put Lurrus in the hand. All right. Okay. So we're going to have to bolt the Lurrus. And then we'll untap and Fatal Push the Death Shadow. Okay. And we are still fighting. They unmulligan themselves pretty well there. They've hit a lot of lands, though. So I'm feeling very confident if we're able to just get get some land drops out. They have pretty good chance they have Scourges because we weren't taking any damage to ourselves. They need to bolt us. Oh, okay. So we get to bolt the Scourge. Land, please. Okay, so unless they have a bolt for us, which would be pretty sick. Okay. And then if they hit us with Death Shadows, then we can start deploying our own Death Shadows. They should. I think they need to redraw with the Spell Bomb so they can draw removal spells for for when we start deploying our threats here. Yeah. Fair enough. Okay, another Spell Bomb, sure. So They'll hit us down to 12, so we can deploy a shadow. If we can get a fetch land, we can go shadow, which would be really good. Okay, wow. All right, now we're back in business. Now I'm just happy to... I'm pretty content to pass here. No, am I, though? Okay, actually, no, I'm just going to pass. Because I'm just going to Abrupt Decay this, so we can untap and play some threats on an empty board. And then if we can go shadow, let's see if they have anything. We've gotten through their Luris, so we're through the scary things of them just recurring things nonstop, right? Oh, unless they have K command. Let's see what happens if I play a shadow and pass to my second main. K command would be really brutal. See if we can play around it. Don't have a K command, please. Okay, I think we've dodged a huge bullet there. And now we just have threat to play. If their hand's like a bunch of removal spells, we just got threats for literal days. Really relieved to get this spell bomb down, because K command on the Luris is how they come rushing right back into this game. This has been a really interesting game. I was just staying silent when I didn't hit the land because I was like, dang, I'm getting super punished here. But wow, they mulled to 5. I think if they hadn't mulled to 5, we would have just been run over. All right, they paused for a really long time there. I don't know exactly what that means. They have hit so many lands. Oh my god. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Jeez. Explosives on 1. Okay. That's funny. Gonna blow up their own spell bomb doing that. They just have to do it now so they prevent me from getting value off my spell bomb, right? Should turn off my auto yields. I really want to make sure. So, yeah, fair. What is going on? Sure. What a funny stack. And no. Very funny stack here. Alright, cool. So now we just get to be playing Scourge of the Skyclaves into them. In addition to that, if we hit our third land, we just load Luris. What up, Luris? Okay, if they play a Scourge here, Kroxa. Discard our Tarmogoyf because he ain't too thick right now. Alright. We will present lethal 2 turns in a row and see how that goes for us. What you think, opponent? Fair enough. If we hit land, we get to Inquisition into our second Scourge. I might Inquisition into Shadow, actually, if we don't. Yeah, I'm going to Inquisition into Shadow. They have Lightning Bolts in hand? Definitely could have just jammed a Scourge again. That may have been better just to jam Scourge. Why are they paused? Are they bolting us? Oh, wow. Yep. So, I take Fatal Push. Their next turn, they just Kroxa. I think. So we need to fade a top deck for sure. Otherwise, I think we're in good shape. Ooh. Brutal top deck. Brutal top deck from them. Oh, man. Now they get to cast Kroxa next turn. Oh, my God. That was savage. Oh. Alright, come on. We need something here. Alright. Oh, and now we can't even load Lurrus in the hand because they bring back Kroxa. That was so painful, dude. Oh, man. MTGO just testing my patience. My God. That was such a savage top deck. God. Alright, I gotta get it together. I really gotta get it together. That really hurt a lot, but, you know, what are you gonna do about it? Okay, let's go. Alright, so obviously I have to top deck something here, and I have to crack Peatland, or else we just die to this, so... Oh, okay, let's see. Can we get him back? Can we get him back? Nope, not the right time for that card. Oh, man. That is so savage, man. Oh, and they had the push too, so it wouldn't have mattered if we had tapped out for the Scourge. Oh, Lord, that is so fucking brutal, man. Oh, man. Alright, I gotta get back in it. I gotta get back in it. We got a third game to play, and I can't lose it here. Okay, so they showed us quite a bit that had to do with the graveyard there. Man, that hurts so bad, dude. Okay. Gotta get it together. Alright, I think I like everything. Everything was good. Let's go. See if we can get him here. His hand's fine. One thing this hand does not have is like hard removal in the form of like, are they gonna Thoughtseize this? Alright, there's some Spellbomb back, sure. Yeah, there's no hard removal in this hand. But I think I'm happy just to jam here. Obviously this Goyf dies to a Bolt. That being said, we have K command, we have our third land just to load Lurrus into our hand. So I'm wondering, if they go to Bolt the Tarmogoyf, I can sack Spellbomb? I think I just let this go. I think I just let it go. Because, yeah. They have all the Spellbombs. Cool story opponents. So we can fetch Shock down to 12. Let's grab a Blood Crypt. And then go to 2/2. So if they have another Bolt, we can Bolt ourselves to save our Shadow. If they have a hard removal spell, we can cast Veil of Summer. So we're going to go ahead and Veil first. Alright, sure. At least I get a card out of this. Exchange. Alright, Abrupt Decay is interesting. What else you can do there? Play, we can play a Death Shadow? No, okay. Okay, so we get a Bloodstain Mire pass. We have the option to crack our Peatland for a redraw here. I think we're going to be pretty patient with this Spellbomb. They showed us a ton of graveyard things. Kroxa, well, just not a ton, but Kroxa, yeah, so they're going to pop a Spellbomb here. Seems good. I guess I could have loaded Lurrus into hand. Actually, that was probably better. I should have loaded Lurrus into hand. Yeah, because then that way I just have it in my hand, part of my arsenal going forward. And I don't know if I'm going to get an opportunity to do that later. Diplomat Courier, sure. So I think I'm actually just going to K-command this, make him discard. Maybe this incentivizes them to pop Spellbomb. To draw a card to protect what they're discarding, but we'll see. Discarded Kroxa. Okay, so even if they have another land to play, we can respond to the fetch. So I think I'm just going to respond here, because if they go fetch land and then untap land, then we're in a little bit of trouble. So I'm just going to go ahead and spend this Spellbomb now for playing around exactly untap land in hand. Okay, another Spellbomb. Seems good. See what if they show us the last card in their hand. Right, Luris into hand, sure. We got a Scourge of the Skyclaves. Hold on, let me slow down. I want to keep my red open for my Lightning Bolt. We have a Scourge of the Skyclaves. Alright, we got to fade their removal spells. Which we know one of their cards in their hand is Luris. We're going to bobble me, sure. Okay, I guess I could have played my Spellbomb here. Yeah, maybe that's going to cost us the game, me not playing the Spellbomb. But they got one turn to draw something, and my feeling is they don't have it. My feeling is they don't have it. But of course they get 2 fresh draws here. But if then they answer it, then we're going to put Luris into our hand. Alright. Did you draw, opponent? Could not top deck me 2 games in a row. That's right. That's what's up. Let's go. Man, that was a heck of a set of games. Let's go. Oh, man. Goodness. Well. All right, everyone, if you're still watching, thank you for sticking through it with me there. Yeah. That was really intense, and I certainly apologize. I really hope I didn't offend anyone with my language or my outburst. I guess that top deck really caught me off guard, and it really was like a dagger. And I know I didn't play perfect. I really should have played Spellbomb there when I knew they were going for the Luris. Definitely should have done that and held up the Bolt. So yeah, definitely didn't play perfect, but I think that just that one particular top deck there at the end to get my last threat and then to go into the Kroxa really got me. And so I'm gonna try to work. I'm definitely gonna try to work harder on like not reacting so dramatically to those top decks. But cool. All right. Well, thank goodness. I was just so nervous that I was not gonna cash another league in a row. But I guess I need to care less about the results. I need to focus a lot harder on just my decision making, which I don't think my decision making was perfect there. So, okay, let's ground ourselves again. Let's bring ourselves into the moment of just like what are our best decisions. Obviously, this one's easy. We just mull. Let's take a look at our next hand. This hand's not great, but I'm gonna keep. And the reason being that we have some Bolt to potentially protect ourselves in the early game. We have a redraw, and we have a card draw engine. Now, if they're on something like Tron, obviously, Tron will not care about a hand like this. So we'll see what we have. Also, speaking of Tron, we just have the Damping Sphere for Tron and the trophies and the Kolaghan's Command. Okay, well, maybe we don't have a too horrible of a hand, or too horrible of a board against Tron, but okay, Forest Mana Dork. Forest Mana Dork. Okay. Cool. So I think, unfortunate we're not on the play that we can't just get this with the Wrenn and 6. We have to be very mindful of Blood Moon. But we're not playing around Blood Moon just yet. Let's see what they're drawing into. Ah, so we don't have to be mindful of Blood Moon. Fair. So I am just going to bolt this. Good thing we have Hex Drinker that helps us play against Ariok Champion. This matchup, definitely glad that we're playing against it, because this matchup... Ooh, there's Inquisition for the Ariok. That's really big. This matchup definitely gets the better of me quite often on all varieties of BGX decks that I play. So definitely props to this deck being a very strong deck. Oh, I guess they could... Right, name white. Okay, so they have their Ariok Champion. Cool. They have one card left. I'm just going to Inquisition them. Because if it's Heliod, we need to send it packing. Need to send that Heliod packing. Ranger Captain, that's a good grab as well. So now we've got this Hex Drinker to help fight against this Ariok Champion. Scourge of the Skyclaves is a bit of a liability in this matchup. So, yeah, we might be just trying to go the distance with this Hexy. We'll see. Yeah, Utopia Sprawl, awesome. Gosh, I wish I had Assassin's Trophies in the main. I would just go snipe that Temple Guard and send him back to the Stone Age. But yeah, we're just going to load up Hex Drinker. I think that's just our plan now. If that fails, then we have Ren as backup. Yep. Cool. We're just going to shock in Overgrown too. Let's load this boy up. And then he's on level 3. So we can level him up twice and then play out a Scourge of the Skyclaves next turn. We're definitely sweating some top decks from our opponent here. Lots of good top decks. That's why their deck is so powerful. Collected Company, Ranger Captain. Ooh, not another Utopia Sprawl. That's pretty unlucky to go triple runner of Utopia Sprawls there for them. Okay, I might just play another Hex Drinker. That's funny. Let's just get a swamp going. So, level him up to 6. Get in there, little Hexy boy. Who would win? A tier 1 deck in Modern or one little Hexy boy? Hex Drinker Tribal, let's do it. Once again, though, they have awesome top decks from here. Skyclave. This doesn't have... Oh, that's such a good draw. All right. All right, well, our dreams, our Hex Drinker dreams have dwindled a bit, but we still get to level up this guy, and then I think I'm going to start jamming with this Ren. Bloodstained Mire, sure. Level him up. Okay, so can I afford what I might do is just play out Scourge. We have to go like that. We have to go like this. Oh man, imagine if we had got this boy leveled up all the way before that Skyclave came down. And then, yeah, this might be a little bit dangerous going this low in life. But we have a big Scourge of the Skyclaves, and we play Temur Battle Rage in this deck, so that is not a bad out to play towards. See what our opponent draws. Okay, fair enough. Arbor Elf, we can ping that with the Ren. Or do we just level this boy all the way up? That's probably what we're doing, right? We just put him on a 2-turn clock. Yeah, let's just go for it. He a drinker, he Hexy. Right, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. Alright, this is not a flawless plan, that's for sure. But, hey, we're going to put the ball in their court. Let's see if they can do anything about it. They have a great, you know, they've got a powerful deck. They can just Coco into... they can just Coco into the combo, you know, Infinite Life combo. We can't beat that, so... It's got protection from everything. Let's see what our opponent draws. Okay, so they haven't conceded, which tells me that they potentially have an out with whatever they drew. So I guess they could have drawn a... ooh, did they draw a collected? Okay, never mind. Okay, so they could have drawn Spike Feeder gains them enough life to survive a Hex Shrinker attack. Collected Company certainly would get there. Okay, cool. So Plague Engineer is good. Ooh, we don't have a great sideboard for this deck either. Speaking of sideboards and eating cards. Guess we can bring in some trophies. Scourge of the Skyclave I hate in this matchup because they just gain so much life. Scourge is such a liability. Balesummer doesn't play a role here. K-Command feels pretty weak. So I think this is what we're trying. And I don't really think we have much else to bring in here. All right, y'all, we're playing for the 4-1, but it's against a... Well, we're going to keep this hand. It's unfortunate to have Scourge in hand, but double Thoughtseize into Fatal Push and Tarmogoyf is fantastic. We're playing for this 4-1, but, you know, this is a tough matchup for sure. And not only that... no, but sorry, that's all that I really had to say there. This is a tough matchup. They are... yeah, they just do things really effectively against us. I think their deck is, at least in my opinion, I think pretty well positioned against us. All right, cool. So enough of that rant there. Let's see if we can punch a hole in their hand. You know, if they have double 3-drops that are really good, that's going to be super awesome for them here. Okay, so guess we have to take the Heliod. Next turn, we can Fatal Push Ranger Captain and then Thoughtseize the Skyclave Apparition. It's a slow plan, but it's the best we've got here. Obviously, it's very vulnerable to what more they can top deck. Yeah, they'll probably just Ranger Cap. I shouldn't have deleted that. I mean, I'm assuming they're going to Ranger Cap, unless they like top deck another Heliod or something. Okay. I'm guessing they're grabbing a Ballista. And this next Thoughtseize is looking right at that Skyclave Apparition. Ranger Captain, sweet card. I mean, really, really good card. All this, got all those cards from a giant killer. That's so funny. All right, well, touche, opponent, touche. Well, we drew another Thoughtseize, so definitely channeling some whitelist energy over here against our opponent. Okay. And yeah. Going to a pretty low life total, but we do get to play some large boys against their minimal hand here. All right, cool. They just top decked a forest. Yep, they're going to jam in here. Okay, I'd really love to see a Death Shadow off the top. Death Shadow off the top would be nuts. Okay, second Tarmogoyf's fine. I think we're just playing out Tarmogoyf because they have top decks that just kill Scourge. They have a lot of things that gain life, and typically, just generally, our green creatures are better. Ooh, do I Fatal Push this Arbor Elf? I don't think so. I don't think we're at quite the mana level where that's a concern. So lots of top decks that are really great for them here. Big time. How's it going? Mm-hmm. Say yes. Swamp. And then we have Revolt. We're going to Fatal Push this Ranger Cap. And then we're going to double threat. They can sack it in response. Doesn't really do much, but it's a good habit to get into. Yep. All right, if we draw a... Okay, bubble. Very nice. Let's see what they are drawing. Ariok Champion. Okay. Well, we're going to have to deal with that. Hopefully we top deck our Plague Engineer. Plague Engineer would be very, very good. Okay, another Goyf is great. So yeah, we can see why we cut the 3 Scourges, right? I mean, Scourge is such a liability against Ariok. Okay. Bolt's interesting. Don't think we're using it yet, though. Bolt's interesting, though, because it's can save the Scourge in a pinch by bolting them. We'll see how they block. I guess I could have bolted the Arbor Elf here. Let's see what they draw into. Bolt was a very interesting draw. If they brick, we might have them. Because if they don't draw anything here, we can bolt the Arbor Elf, attack with everything, and then yeah, that'll do it. So let's see if they draw into anything. Maybe it's another one of those giant killers. Not sure how many of those they can afford to play, but... What do we got here, opponent? Oh, is it a Ranger Cap? That's pretty good. Okay. So. What do they grab? Walking Ballista. Fair enough. Because that's lethal next turn, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So... So we need to top deck here, right? We need another removal spell. Let's wait on this bolt. Oh, that should do it, right? That should do it, right? I don't want to get too excited and mess this up. Yep, that'll do it. They block the biggest creature and take exactly 12 damage. That was a lucky top deck, wow. Wow, 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 wow. Wow, another emotional league, but wow, we got away with the 4-1. Wow, all right, guys, that was really intense. We had some crazy games there. If you, yeah, please, it would mean the world to me if you left a comment and pointed out where I probably messed things up or missed a line, or I am sure there's so many things that I probably really, really screwed up. And if you're still watching, thank you so much for still hanging out here. I really, really appreciate the support. I'm starting to get some comments coming in from friends and from some new friends, and so that's been really special and really cool. I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today, and I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.